Welcome to another edition of The Opinion on Malachite MLC TV. I am your host, Joshua Adenoy, and in today's edition of the program, we'll be discussing something very, very important, something that virtually everybody in the country, Nigeria, is experiencing. One way or the other, we are being affected by it. What are we talking about today? We are talking about the current hardship in the country. Yes, the current hardship in the country. Of course, everyone is being affected by it. Talking about ranging from the prices of food items in the market, the cost of transportation, name them. Everything that has to do with human existence, the price has suddenly become skyrocketed that we don't even know where we are going to. This is what we'll be discussing today. The challenges it has brought and probably the possible solutions to this. And to discuss this with me is an economist, a senior lecturer with the Department of Economic, Federal University, Lokoja. His name is Dr. Peter Chika Uzumba. We go on a break. We'll be right back.
Opinion, they say, is the lowest of human knowledge, but the world, the people, the actions, reactions, and decisions are often patterned with opinions. The same world is characterized by different views, and decisions are sometimes judged by actions or reactions due to opinions. People, nations, and even lower animals rise against or for one another just because of their opinions. Minds are set on opinions daily. Tell me what you don't know and I will tell you. It's all about your opinion. Join me, Joshua Adenoy, on Malachite TV Online every Monday by 9 a.m. Your opinion, my opinion, if well explained and understood, will help us to build a better society. Your opinion, my opinion counts. Don't miss it.
Welcome back. Just as we have said earlier, this is the Opinion on Malachite MLC TV, your online television station, of course your favorite. And today we said we are discussing the current issue of hardship in Nigeria, the challenges that comes with it, and of course the possible solutions. And my guest on the show today is Dr. Peter Chika Uzumba. Doctor, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, for the purpose of the audience, can you introduce yourself, sir?
Wow, do you think I can do it better than you've done? That's great. Peter Chika Uzumba is my name. I lecture with Department of Economics, Federal University, Lokoja. That's where I am.
All right, Dr. Chika, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Doctor, let's just go straight to the point.
Great.
Now, the economy is biting hard on the people, talking about Nigerians. And of course, some of the people now think that there is no solution or there is no better way to solve the current economic hardship in Nigeria. What is your view about this, doctor?
Thank you, my host. I have to thank you again and the management of this place for featuring me at this particular time. Well, it's everywhere. You know, we will always say that it's better we have, with due respect to my colleagues in the medical profession, it's better to have 100 quack medical doctors than to have one quack economics, or who profiles or offers a solution, economic solution that may not be effective. The reason is that economic policies is respecter of nobody. If you implement it wrongly, whether you are the rich or the poor, it will get to you. It's a matter of time. The hardship is getting to everybody's neck. And we always say, even the rich is crying now. The poor started crying at initial time, now the rich is crying. Well, when we say economic hardship, we don't need any dictionary definition. We do not need anybody to define what it is. Everybody is experiencing it, and everybody can give you his or her own account of the experience. The hardship is on everywhere. And if you look at it, you may be frustrated to say that the economy is recessing, or that economic activities are moving downward, tending to recession. And when it gets to recession, the only hope we have now is that somehow the financial institutions are still functional. That's the only hope we have. If for any reason the deposit money banks begin to have problems, then it will be declared as a full-blown recessed economy. The economic hardship everybody is facing today, I don't want to be political about it. It was not occasioned by last year's declaration of removal of fuel subsidy. Rather, it fueled it. If it was not, for any reason, any political reason or whatever reason, not said that it was going to be removed, the impact would have been so severe as it is today. Because if you trace how the economy was managed in the last 4 years of our past administration, if you traced all the behaviors of macroeconomic variables, you would see that none was behaving as expected, especially when we had that Naira design policy. It was it was implemented as a political, it was used as a political instrument rather than as an economic instrument. That is part of the problem. That is the part of the problem. You know, when you say you want to inject money into the economy, I just wanted to give all this background so that we know where we are coming from and what has made it to be so obvious. That's the background. If you say you're injecting money into an economy, you should be very careful on how you manage it. Because money is a liquidity. If you inject money and you cannot hold account of the money you are injecting in the economy, whether you are redesigning or you are changing the color or the quality or quantity or whatever, if you do not do it using monetary variables instrument, monetary policy instrument, you are likely going to fuel inflation. That's the genesis. Now it happened and it was not properly managed. The only side of it that we saw very clearly that it was a political instrument rather than being an economic instrument. If it was managed as an economic instrument, there wouldn't have been unnecessary fallout that we had during that period. And it was already a crisis situation. One would have expected any government coming up on May 29th May 2023 would have first taken time to reflect, to review the behaviors of macroeconomic variables in the last 2 years before making any declaration or before making any pronouncement on any economic policy. That was my expectation. Put up your economic team and give them your manifesto, give them your focus, and tell them to look at these variables and then come up with solutions. That was not done. And you know, in the Nigerian situation, we don't have control over the behavior of market forces. Because Nigeria, as you look at it, you will agree with me that it's a pure competitive market. You don't have control over market forces. As soon as you do whatever you say you want to do as a government, market forces will capture it and they will take it out of your hand. Remember that the past administration had already paid for subsidy up to June of last year. So saying we are going to remove subsidy in May. In May, we had already paid for subsidy. In June of last year, we had already paid for subsidy. Which means, but remember that as soon as that was made, that announcement was made, May 30th, the price of fuel left 165 naira to 600 and something naira. A liter of petrol. Even when we were still enjoying subsidy. So what point am I trying to make? It was not properly managed. It was not properly managed, and that is what everybody is facing today. And this is not even we are just getting into it. We are getting into it because one thing with economic issues is there is always a short time, there's always a long time. Always a short time and short time. And whatever you are doing, you should be able to make your policies in such a manner that you should be able to take care of the fallouts that will come out from your policy implementation. Now, the hardship everybody is facing, I don't want to give you any definition, but what I want to let you know is that even the rich and the poor is getting a share from the, well, let's say, the mismanagement of this of the Nigerian economy. Because the way it is now, even in the international market, even on the global scale, Nigeria is not rated as a country that is interested in development. Nigeria is not rated as a country that is interested in development. I read from one piece that, I don't know, that Dangote is said to begin to import crude. Whenever you do anything that has to do with importation, you are only giving strength to dollar. And that is the genesis of where we are. Well, it doesn't mean that there is no solution. In the course of the program, we'll prefer solutions. And solutions as a microeconomic individual, and a solution that can be implemented at a macroeconomic level. Because as an individual, you have to devise a means of managing the situation. Otherwise, you may end up being consumed by the situation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Uzumba. Now, before we go to the issue of import and export, now let's talk about something, and a common issue in the country as well. Another issue bothering the masses is the cost of foodstuffs in the market, to the extent that even gari that is being called common gari before, today gari is no longer common. Now, who do we blame for the hike in the cost of gari and some other let me call them petty foodstuffs in the market? Who to be blamed for it?
Yeah, about the staple food, all the place we buy, perishable goods. You know, I said something earlier. Nigeria is an economy that market forces that operate within the perfect competitive markets, governments do not have control over them. So if there is increase in anywhere, the person who is selling mango will tell you, I will even the point the person is importing or not. Because what the person is trying to do is to protect himself or herself, that if I sell these below this price, I may not be able to use it to buy some other things. So what we are actually paying for is expected rise in expected rise in price as a factor that affects demand. And that is what we are actually paying for, not actually market prevailing price. What point am I trying to make? The foodstuffs, reasons why the prices of foodstuff, have surged are so many. Remember, for the past 10 decades, for the past 1 decade, 10 years, Nigeria has been battling with insecurity. Remember the issue of herdsmen and farmers. Remember all these insecurities. Of course. I said this in one particular forum that yes, Benue has a slogan as the food basket of the nation. And since that state was created, we have given her that particular slogan, the food basket of the nation. But no government had ever taken time to create another basket or even a small cup of food in any other country. So we all gave our hope on Benue State being the food basket of the nation, that Benue was producing at least crop food that can feed the country. No government thought of extending that kind of advantage to another state, so that if anything happens within Benue State, we can rely on the other state. Nobody did that. We all rely and waited that Benue is the food basket of the nation. Whatever be the case, Benue State will always feed the nation. Now, what is happening today? The food basket of the nation has become a basket that when you pour it water, nothing will be contained in that basket. That is the crisis we are having there. So insecurity has been one of the issues. And coupled with the fact that the operations in the perfect competitive market, government of Nigeria cannot handle such operations. If you say I'm producing my food, and all the food we consume in the market, about 70% of them is produced by individuals. So government cannot even come into that market to compete. Therefore, it will be very difficult for government to say, we want to control price, we want to fix price, we want to do this. Because government in her own activity does not even have any contribution to make it the perfect competitive market. So until there is effective competition, if you allow this competition to remain within the circle of private individuals, the price of food price of food items will continue to surge. Certainly, continue to surge. And if we do not do anything to curtail the insecurity that borders around the horizon of farming, the prices will continue to surge. Because what is happening today is that farmers are even afraid to go to their farmland. They can't even access the farmland. And if you are farming, it's either you have employed some security agency that will guide you to be in your farm for 5 hours or 6 hours. Then you get home. You have to pay them. When you pay them, at the end of the day, the final consumer bears the burden of the incident of those, payments. So government has a role to play. The masses are not saying that government must come and farm for them. What we are saying, provide enabling environments. We should stop politicizing insecurity. We should stop politicizing insecurity. I don't think that the record that Nigerian Army had some time ago as one of the best military outfit on ground has lost. I don't think that particular record was made on political ground. It was made based on their performance. What point am I trying to make? The security outfit we have, they can curtail these issues if and only if they want to do that. If and only if the government gives them the support. That is what I'm thinking. Because I don't think that the activities of non-state actors can in any way override the activities of government. It's not done in any way. Because there is no ungoverned space in the space of the country. There is no ungoverned space. There is no place in Nigeria that you will say that the sovereignty of the state is not extended to that place. So the point is that what we are experiencing today, we will always say because there's no fuel subsidy, there's no fossil. And remember, fuel, petroleum is a common denominator that will be found in anything we do. The clothes you are putting on has a component of petrol. The food, even the food you eat, if it is not used to produce it by preservation, it may be used to bring it to the market. So it is needed at every point in time. I have always said, if you want to get it wrong, let us go back to how we missed it. Let us go back to how we missed it. So the price of food in the market we have in the market today, it can only come down if there is serious intervention. Removal of subsidy is not a bad thing, but how and at what occasion you do the immediate matters. So if we want to have the price of goods and services to be, particularly food, to come down, there must be serious competition, not what is happening today. What is happening today is I decide what I sell. That's what they do. What farmers do today, if you're coming from your farm, you go to the market. Please, how much are you people selling now? When you can't even know your price until you get to that. And when you get to that place, you will also make calls. Now I am in the market. How much do you sell in the bush? Because if it is sold at 200 naira and in the bush you sold at 300 naira, if you sell your own at 200 naira, when you get back to the bush, you won't be able to buy any other one. So they actually sell at expected price. That is the problem. So the only way to curtail or to stop that particular problem is that there must be a massive intervention. The grains the government said they are supplying, the grains cannot get to any point. And remember too, when you say you are supplying grains, you have opened the warehouse to supply grains. Do you monitor the channel of supply? Do you monitor the channel of distribution? They will also take take the bags of grain and also distribute them to their cronies. This is the point we are talking about. There must be serious intervention. Government should come out and compete with private individuals in the market. Then the price will collapse. If you leave it at the forces of these same operators of demand and supply, certainly I bet you in the next 1, 2, 3, 4 months we are not coming out of it. Because remember, during the inflationary period, at any time of inflationary period, the business people they smile home, while the fixed income earners suffer. So those who are in the business now, who are on basis of who are in trade, buying and selling, they are the ones smiling. Because I know if I bought this 20,000 naira and I sold it at 25,000 naira, and at the point of selling it, the price of it becomes 35,000 naira. I won't tell the market. I won't say that no, I want to sell 25. I will sell at the market prevailing price to enable me do what? Buy again, and to enable me remain in the market. So until government intervenes in a manner that the competition will be effective and pure, that is only when the price will collapse. If you leave it the way it is and make it a mere announcement that the price of this, okay, you had a meeting, the president had a meeting with the cement operators, Lafant, Dangote, and we discussed and cut down this, and it's been implemented. Has it been implemented? At the workshop, at the site there, or the production site there, they sell at 7.5. But by the time it gets to you, you should be ready to pay 11 to 12,000 naira. Have we been able to solve any problem? So government must be a participant. Government must be a common person. You said Gari is no longer common. Gari is a gold. Gari is even is trading as dollar now. Yes, Gari is no longer common. So until there is a serious government intervention, otherwise, if you leave it at the mercy of private individuals to continue to do what they are doing today, I bet you they will be smiling home. They will be cashing out. They will be smiling home with enough profit, abnormal profit, and that is what a profit-oriented business person wants. If you leave it like this, they will prefer it this way, because as it continues this way, they will have the opportunity to sell at any price. Nobody controls their price. I love what the president said, that he doesn't want to set up a board that should control price. That means government is not interested in intervening and fixing the price. But if he leaves it at this point in time, fine. But he should be ready to do that, because there must be an intervention through what is called price legislation. If you do not legislate price on certain commodities, and private individuals continue to do what they are trying to do, we should be ready to be in this situation till the end of this year. We should be ready. So nobody should even say, let this maybe by next year, by 1 month, by 3 months. No. Because the way it is, there's no serious government intervention. And the private individuals are allowed to do whatever they like. And this mess is going to continue. It's a very unfortunate situation that Nigeria is the so-called giant of Africa cannot even feed their nation.
A serious government intervention is needed in a situation as this, because when you allow private individuals to continue to regulate the prices of food in the market, we'll continue to face what we are facing. And he said something that until that very serious intervention from the government is being probably put in place, then we will continue to face what we are facing presently till the end of the year. God forbid. Now, let's go back to something that you mentioned earlier. You mentioned the issue of import and export of goods. Now, how has the issue of both import and export, how has it disturbed the economy of the country, especially imports?
Yeah, a country that is import driven will certainly have a balance of payment deficit. You are going to have unfavorable terms of trade. You are going to have low national income, especially in foreign earnings. And there are some other things. Yeah, international trade is a very good thing, because it completes what we call macroeconomic cycle or macroeconomic equilibrium, and of course it projects you to the rest of the world. But then, if you are a player in international market and you are just a buyer and you don't have a say, by having a say I mean you have nothing to offer to place on the table that can give you the grounds to make some demand, then it means that you're just a dumping ground. Now, in our country as it is, we do not have an effective way of regulating the behaviors of private individuals, particularly in the market, because the nature of market environment we create here gives operators the leverage to do whatever they want to do, and they get out of it and nothing happens, because we don't have good database where you can say I can track the activities of this seller in this market and that market. We don't have such database, so it always continue to be a problem. So when you are in such a situation where you cannot control, where you cannot track at every point in time the activities of these people who are selling in the market, it becomes an issue for you, and it becomes something that you have to be very serious about when you're making your policies. Because if you make policies and they are not in the picture, it will affect you. Where are we here in terms of international trade? We understand that the more you import, you are actually giving strength to dollar. Or let me not use dollar, to that particular currency that you will use as means of exchange rate. You are giving straight to it, whether it's dollar, whether it's pound, whatever it is. Yeah. It is not compulsory that every country must be an international market. First, feed your domestic economy. If your domestic economy is well fed, then you can reach out. The issue of everything, I was amazed when I learned that we are importing toothpick that you use to pick your teeth. In the villages, who uses toothpick? People who use what it's in the palm front and all broom and the pick. This is what we are importing. So if you are in a country where you import almost everything, you will soon import your life. That's what it is. You will soon, and of course it's happening today. If any serious politician is sick, the person is outside to go and seek for proper medical attention. Is that not a way of killing the country, killing the economy? Because every trip you make outside, dollar is empowered. Every trip you make outside, whatever means of payment you are using as a basis of exchange rate is strengthened. Anything you bring in, that particular means of transaction is strengthened. So what do you do? Since if we import more, we become poorer, why don't we look for a way to produce that which we have been importing, so that we'll stop importing? Can we practice what I call partial autarky? Can we practice what we call partial autarky? Forget about the Western world. Forget about it. Nigeria has made her name. The way it's supposed to be. So if Nigeria says we are cutting off this, let us even think inward. Let us think inward and see how we can even identify our problem. Because the problem now is not even solution. Have we been able to identify our problem? Identification of the problem is the fundamental thing to do. If you identify your problem, then providing solution shouldn't be a problem, because solutions are out there. What you need to do, what is your problem? Nigeria has to do what I call, comprehensive diagnostic check. We need to do that. Don't tell me the problem is leadership. Don't tell me the problem is importation or whatever. So, if the problem is leadership, the leadership corrects that particular problem. If importation is our problem, then we should stop what? If dollar is killing our naira, then we should stop patronizing dollar. Commodify. Use that word. Commodify dollar. Make dollar to be as common as what you call Gary. Commodify dollar. In Nigeria is the only country where two currencies are used as basis of exchange. Can you imagine that in Nigeria people pay for services in dollars? Some hospitals, some schools will charge you in dollars. Some services will require you to pay in dollars. In a country where you have sovereignty, in a country where you have CBN, in a country where you have a functional currency, then that currency is subdued. That is killed. That currency is no longer recognized. And one of the characteristics of money is that it has to be generally accepted. So if Nigeria is a sovereign state and Nigeria uses naira as her currency, as her basis of as illegal tender, then it means that naira must have that general acceptability. Nobody should, contest that. That is what it should be. But when you come here, people will not prefer dollar to naira, and a service that is rendered in a country that has some kind of quality, they will tell you to pay in dollar. What does it mean? If you don't have dollar, what do you need to do? You have to go and look for more naira to go and look for where to buy dollar. And when the demand for dollar increases, of course, exchange rate will be in favor of dollar. When that happens, exchange will be in favor of dollar. So exportation, importation is fine. Very fine. You must, of course, macroeconomic equilibrium is not only established when you have the open economy. You can also establish macroeconomic equilibrium when you have a closed economy. Yes, you can do it when you have a closed economy. These things that are pushing you towards having high propensity to support dollar, to strengthen dollar, why don't you relax them? Why don't you relax them? One of them is importation of oil, importation of refined petroleum products. You are importing them, and before you import them, what do? You have to go to FS. You will go to BDCs. You go to all the commercial banks and tell them to mop for dollar. Then, by the time you're asking them to bring, the demand for it will be high. And as you're asking them as a government to mop up, you are Not forgetting that the same politicians within your circle are also looking for dollar to travel out. Not forgetting that private individuals who are in businesses, in international business, will also be looking for the same dollar to do what? To import goods and services. Private individuals too, who happen to do one or two business that will require them to pay in foreign exchange, particularly dollar, they are also looking for it to do what? So when the demand for it becomes so high and uncontrollable, you will see it push forward. It's a simple, elementary economics.
Thank you so much, Dr. Uzumba. Now, the audience, we will be going on a break. We'll be right back. The opinion continues shortly.
Opinion, they say, is the lowest of human knowledge, but the world, the people, the actions, reactions, and decisions are often patterned with opinions. The same world is characterized by different views, and decisions are sometimes judged by actions or reactions due to opinions. People, nations, and even lower animals rise against or for one another just because of their opinions. Minds are set on opinions daily. Tell me what you don't know and I will tell you. It's all about your opinion. Join me, Joshua Adinoi, on Malachite TV Online every Monday by 9 a.m. Your opinion, my opinion, if well explained and understood, will help us to build a better society. Your opinion, my opinion counts. Don't miss it.
Glad to know that you are still there. The program is still The Opinion on Malachite MLC TV Online. And with us discussing the issue of hardship in Nigeria is Dr. Peter Chika Uzumba, a senior lecturer in the Department of Economics, Federal University, Lokoja. Dr. Uzumba, let's continue with our discussion. Recently, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, actually commissioned a commodity board to regulate food prices across the country. Now, how efficient do you think this will go in ameliorating the sufferings that the citizens are passing through today in Nigeria?
Thank God that he has reversed his decision. Though he said he was not going to create board, and when I learned that, I said, well, that could be an initial thought, but I know he will certainly create board, because what he's trying to use is what is called a price legislative instrument to see whether you can fix what is called maximum price and minimum price. Like I said, you can do all these policy issues and document and all that, but somebody who is operating in one village in Kaba, who is a typical farmer, has processed his garri, done everything, and the person is approaching Natako market to sell, and your board is somewhere telling that the person must sell this quantity of garri at this price. Okay, the person will say, okay, are they there? I will not go. When they go, I will go and sell. You don't have control over the activities of this private individual in the first instance. So any regulation you are going to make should be backed by you being a player in the market. If the person is preparing to sell a bag at 50,000 naira and you as a government are prepared to produce your own and also sell in the same market at 30,000 naira, what will happen? What will happen?
The people will prefer the one.
Certainly, it's a simple thing within the circle of microeconomics, because every consumer is a rational being. That's the cardinalist thought. Every consumer is a rational being. So I will go to that commodity that will pay less and get more satisfaction. So if you regulate the price as a government, you have only done the theoretical aspect. You have been able to give effect to price legislation. Fantastic. You've done that as a regulating authority, as a public sector. But when you do it, how do you make it workable? How do you make it functional? How can that affect the market behavior of somebody who is a local farmer producing eggs in Kara? How can that control the market behavior to somebody who is in far Igala village producing red oil? And the person knows that if I can cross this hurdle and go further in Abuja, I will sell at a higher price. Even if you like, make the ball at the local government level, it can only serve for main purpose. People may create what is called artificial scarcity. And of course, during artificial scarcity, prices will also surge. So, as a government, it is beyond, because this situation is becoming more severe every minute. So, government needs, aggressive, your effort must not be something you do in the office and relax. Government must go into production. Find a way and go into production. If fixing one of our refineries is a rocket science to Nigeria, then relax it. Go and compete with private individuals in the circle of producing staple food.
Now,
the price will crash.
Now, this will now lead us to something very important. Having known some of the challenges we are facing as a country, what are the possible solutions?
Well, I'll give the solutions from the point of view of economics and also the practical point of view. People will always say, yesterday somebody was introduced so that all the economics will have professors and all that, that nothing is spoken. There is no economics made in Nigeria. Economics is economics everywhere. In Harvard, what it is, it's what it is in Nigeria. But how is it implemented? Can we, as a country, in some quarters it has been said that government should reverse the decision of removal of fuel subsidy and all that. It doesn't go that way. If government does that, they may be regretting it. But there's always a way out. Government, you have done this. How much have we saved from the subsidy? If you said we have saved 1 naira and you are using that 1 naira to increase the allocation that you are giving to state government, you are only adding salt to the engine, because you will still end up subsidizing consumption instead of production. So government, what is the source of this problem? Is it not the fuel? Why can't we? We do respect His Excellency, Commander-in-Chief, we do respect. Can we give it 6 months? Mobilize all the funds that you can mobilize. Can you move your office, move your presidency to either Port Harcourt refinery or Warri refinery? Settle there for 3 months. Let us see that witch and that wizard that has said that refinery will not work. Don't delegate anybody. Take your presidency and settle there. Go to any of these refineries. Settle there and say you are fixing these refineries for 3 months. If it doesn't work, then burn it. Fix it. If you fix it and Nigeria starts producing her oil, Nigeria starts producing, refining her products, then these other things will naturally regulate themselves. But by the time you say you keep telling us you have removed subsidy, the money we are getting from subsidy, you are using it to increase allocation to the state government. You are adding salt to the injuries. And the problem will certainly continue, even in the short and the long run. But since we have known that this problem could be partially traced to 29th May 2023, when you said this is removed, even when it was not removed, and this started, sir, can we go back and start refinery? I want to ask a question. Are those refineries, are they beyond repairs? The problem is fuel. The problem is kerosene. The problem is AGO. The problem lies within the cycle of petroleum products. Go to the end of these refineries and fix them within 6 months. If you fix them within 6 months, I bet you in the next 3 months, things will begin to change. Fix them, and as you're fixing them, you're addressing the issue of power. If you can get these 2 things done before the end of the year, forget about those who are running for dollar. They will certainly come back. So let us commodify dollar. I pretend as if dollar is as common as Gary. And stop every transaction that goes in Nigeria on the exchange rate, on the basis of dollar as the basis for exchange rate. If you do that, sir, we'll certainly make the headway. That is at the macro level. That is what we are expected to do, sir. No president, nobody Nobody, no single individual can do this for you because it lies within the powers of the commander-in-chief. These three things I've said. Now, on the basis of individuals, it is obvious that the economy starts from micro before, to macro. You just have to make sure that the size of your clothes, you must have to build your body within the size of your clothes. That is very important. Because the way it is now, even the government is even trying to see, the government is also finding it not easy. So every individual, I want to advise you, make sure that whatever you are doing is within your reach. Do not live as if you want to meet up with the Joneses. Don't do that. What you cannot afford, what is not needed, you should be able to identify and differentiate your want from your need. What you know that is not needed now, just relax it and make do with what you have. Make do with what you have. Nigeria is, the naira as our currency is losing strength, and it's still, even naira at 1,000 naira at $1 is embarrassing. It's embarrassing to me. It's embarrassing. It is still outrageous. It is still an indication to say that naira has no worth. It's embarrassing. So what you need to do as an individual, do whatever you can do at your level. Do not steal, do not kill anybody. But live within your means. Live within your means. Live within your means.
Finally, Dr. Uzumba, at a period like this, that the country is what it is for now, what is your word of consolation to the citizens of the country?
Yes, since the problem is not, it's not a pandemic, it's rather an endemic. It's affecting Nigeria as it were. And it's not a natural disaster. It could be a political disaster. But then, it is affecting anybody. There is a way out. My word to you is that everybody is in the same boat and we are facing it. Ensure that you live within your means. What you cannot afford, don't even imagine to have it. What you cannot afford today, it may come tomorrow. This problem is somewhat peculiar to Nigeria, but I tell you, Japa may not be the only option, because when you Japa, you may not have your freedom. But here you have your freedom, but you're not feeling well. Japa may be an option, but you have to weigh it before you embark on it. What I'm telling you today, as the viewers, please live within your means. I keep saying this. Live within what you can afford. If you know that your children are going to where you're paying more to school, please withdraw them and change the school to where you can afford. And whatever the makeup is, you can make out more time and be teaching them. Look for enemies, because the problem, the way it is today, don't hope that in the next 1 month, 2 months, 3 months after Salah break, after this will go, it will not come down. Until government intervenes sincerely, not intervention by increasing state allocation. Who are you empowering? The same politicians like you. We are talking about people that are suffering. People, the only hope we have, the only little hope we have why it has not been declared as a full-blown recession is because nobody has heard about retrenchment, downsizing in the company, because the financial institutions can still, if they pay you salary, the financial institution can still respond and you have access to your money. That's the only hope. That is the only consolation we have. So within that consolation, let us also use that kind of advantage for now to ensure, if you are living in a compound and you have an empty land that is fallow and there's nothing there, spend more time, clear it. Even if it's cassava, go and plant there. That may quench hunger for a minute sometime in the future.
Thank you so much, Dr. Peter Chika Uzumba, for this very opportunity you've given to us to hear from you on this very topic of hardship in the country. A viewer out there, I believe one way or the other you must have learned some things, and I know that at a period like this we've heard the advice he has given to us all. Just live within your means. When you know that you can't afford a particular thing, don't even imagine having it. And to the government, he said, one thing that is very, very vital at a period like this is that government intervention is needed in the issue of marketing, because you can't just leave things in the hands of individuals. Since they have control of their products, they decide their prices as well. So the government must be very serious about this, and the intervention should get to the right persons at the right time. I believe you've enjoyed every bit of this very edition of the program, The Opinion on Malachite TV. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I am your host, Joshua Adino, and we hope to have you more and more some other days. Thanks for watching.